biggest crisis there was arguably the withholding of the equitable share from the city as a result of the impasse between National Treasury and Nelson Mandela Bay. And that impasse, unfortunately, and withholding of grant funding and equitable share has had a severe impact on planning within the administration, and obviously, again, had a knock-on effect on our ability to provide basic services to the people in Nelson Mandela Bay. The impasse came, and I'm not going to go into that detail. I think most of you know how the impasse came about, but I wanted to remind us of some instances or some facts that we might have forgotten. Because I believe that as we stand now, the MBDA has been captured. Why do I say the MBDA has been captured? Council has taken a firm number of resolutions in terms of which the appointment of Mr. Anele Qaba was going to be rescinded. Secondly, the fact that the MBDA board must be disbanded. And we know now that the MBDA board refuses to leave. They do not acknowledge the decision that was taken by the council. And we also know that Mr. Anele Qaba has basically written to the city manager to say that he doesn't take instructions from her, as if she's not the head of the administration. So I wanted to remind us that Mr. Qaba is actually a very close friend of the executive mayor. We know that as early as January 2023, Mr. Qaba wanted to be the CEO of the MBDA, and that information was disclosed to the then speaker and now executive mayor, as well as his party. We know that in that correspondence that was leaked to us, the executive mayor actually acknowledged that he recruited Glenda Perumal, who was the chairperson of the board at that stage, as if he would have some influence over the process. We know that, we saw it, we read it. We know that, notwithstanding the fact that he had access to that information, he presided as a Speaker of Council over an item in terms of which Mr. Anele Qaba was given a golden handshake, and he never disclosed that information to Council. We then know that on the 3rd of May, I wrote a letter to Ms. Glenda Perumal to advise her that we urgently require members' representative forum as a result of the botched recruitment processes. That's common knowledge. We've all seen that letter. But what you probably don't know, and I only recently found out, after a legal consultation to try and assist the municipality in coming out of this quagmire, was 2 days after I was replaced as a mayor, on Sunday evening, the 28th. As a matter of fact, it's my birthday, the 28th. It was a stress-free birthday. The executive mayor wrote to the chairperson of the MBDA and said to her, proceed to fill the vacancy of the CEO. Now, what makes that very interesting is that the executive mayor was appointed rather late on Friday evening, if I remember correctly. The administration didn't work over the weekend, and he took that decision without having any access, had any access, to the best of my knowledge, to the information that we've had at our disposal. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take all of the information that we've known, Mr. Qaba was handpicked to become the CEO of the MBDA. What subsequently happened was also common knowledge, and I'm not going to go into detail, except for the fact that we know that council took a unanimous decision that wasn't disputed by anyone in council to dissolve the board and to set aside the appointment. Notwithstanding those decisions, The executive mayor has met on more than one occasion with the CEO of the MBDA and with the board. There should be no reason for the executive mayor to meet with Mr. Qaba or with the board, considering what council has decided and considering the massive impasse that we have with Treasury. Now, we are doing a lot of back-channeling work between Treasury and the city has also written to Treasury to try and secure that money. Remember that the Minister of Finance indicated he will pay that money over to us if we've taken certain key decisions. But ladies and gentlemen, the MBDA at this stage is rogue, and we have got no control as a municipality over our own entity. And if we do not resolve this issue, I don't anticipate that Treasury will pay us that money, that funding, and it will continue to be our biggest crisis. Now, I want to end off with this section of the press conference to say that I'm very, very disappointed in the way that the executive mayor has handled this situation. Because I can assure you that any executive mayor would have been able to resolve that issue after the resolution of council with a phone call. And what it tells me is that the only reason it hasn't been resolved is Mr. Gary van Niekerk do not want to see the removal of the board, and he does not want to see the removal of his friend, Mr. Anele Qaba, from that position. And then lastly, that I want to say there, I've got it under good authority that Mr. Anele Qaba is now meeting with municipal officials, senior municipal officials, in unrelated matters to the MBDA, which means that he, in all probability, is now starting to interfere in the administration of the city as well. And we've all known the fight that has existed between him and Dr. Nazi.